like at the end of last season. Those same top three are at it today. The Pennsylvania 500 looms as a high hurdle on the road to the 98 title. Dale Jarrett knows this tri-oval well, but defending title holder Jeff Gordon, he's been the dominator with a 52-point lead on Martin, charging toward a third championship in just 4 years, seeking to make his own Winston Cup standard of excellence. For the spot in Pocono.
Hey, Ken, Jeff Gordon set fast time in qualifying on Friday.
A lot of folks in the garage area think Jeff Gordon is the man to beat today. He's qualified on the front row for the 8th time in the last 9 NASCAR Winston Cup events, and here at Pocono, he's finished first or second 5 of the last 6 races. Gordon on the outside of the front row today, the Winston Cup leader by 52 points. He's a 4-time winner this season. To Randy Pemberton.
Well, Dale Jarrett comes in, the driver's ready to kick it out another time, 16 times in a row.
You know, start on the front straightaway. I mean, it's the longest straightaway that we have on the circuit.
Pole of the season, 5th of his career. On the line, right beside him is Jeff Gordon. For row 2 of the 91 and 90 back out of turn 3. And riding scratch on the field, Rich Bickle at 43rd position. Field coming down to the line, and we're racing at Pocono Raceway. 3 wide immediately. Wallace drops to the inside. Tunnel turn coming up. From the pole sitter, Ward Burton. Look.
5 points, that's a lot for these guys to go for. You can see right now that Rusty Wallace has the 5 points for leading the first lap and looks very, very strong, starting in 3rd spot and already leading.
And it's still Jeff Gordon and Ward Burton at it hard for that 2nd spot. For the moment, Gordon is there. And look at that instability as they take that turn number 1 up on that high banking. That's one of the toughest turns in all of automobile. On the move in the 91, and Earnhardt closing on it. Up front, Wallace there. Turn number 1 area.
Mark Martin's already showing his car's got good grip in the corners, but Jeff Gordon wants that 5 point for leading a lap, and he's after Rusty Wallace has closed in right to about a car length and a half now down the back straightaway.
Bobby Labonte taking over in 3rd, puts the Pontiac up in there. Ford Chevy Pontiac, 1, 2, 3.
If Jeff Gordon has the car right now, he'll try to set the 2 car of Rusty Wallace up as they go through the flat corner, turn 3. He'll try to get on the inside as they come off the corner and try to make the move before he gets to the flag stand.
Key stat on that graphic was Rusty Wallace in the win column, 0.
For 40 for car, which goes a little high as it comes out of 1. Look up in front. Here he comes. Gordon going for first. He's got it.
Bobby Labonte running a strong 3rd right now. The 18 car, the green one, running in 3rd spot.
The man who was on the pole last time here, back in June, Jeff Gordon, takes over up in front for the moment from Rusty Wallace. And there you see them deployed around this very flat, and we'll call it flat. It's still 7 or 8 degrees of banking. And down the main straightaway. Longest straightaway there is in Winston Cup racing. Ward Burton deployed 4th, Mark Martin in 5th, and then it's a second or so back to Joe Nemechek. And Nemechek runs this track well. He was on the pole for this race a year ago.
Gordon's picked up his 5 bonus points for leading the lap. Same car he had here in June, finished 2nd in Mayfield with this automobile. Same spring and shock combination in it for Gordon, but a more powerful engine this time.
Take a look at that pass by Gordon.
Okay, coming up out of turn 1, Gordon takes the inside line there. Rusty starts to push out just a little bit, side by side down the Long Pond straightaway. You can see right there, Rusty says, if he wants it that bad, go ahead. I have a good car.
11th consecutive race that Gordon has led this year, 14th of the season.
15th race of the series, and from here didn't get much of an opportunity to try a race setup, and as a result, they had to throw a combination at it.
Jeff Gordon is your leader.
I think Martin right now is showing a lot of muscle, but you know, I'm watching Rusty Wallace. He dropped back about 20, 30 car lengths, and all of a sudden just decided to turn it up a little bit. That's a brand new motor that they put in there early this morning. They had a vibration. They couldn't find it. They changed transmission, motor, and gear. Looks like he hit a pretty good combination.
Sure does. Solid.
The 8-powered car as it comes off the corner, you see they'll
A lot to the crew, but they think the car's a little tight, meaning it wants to go straight off the corners instead of cut as well as it needs to. So that's why Ward Burton has slipped back just a little bit. Let's go to Randy Pemberton. Well, Rusty
Gordon stays first. We're still seeing Gordon as the quick at 162.3 in his last lap up on the point. Back with the leaders for a moment. And there you see how they're deployed. Gordon in first, Wallace in second. They have completed 16 of 200 laps. And that lead is about a half second for Gordon over Wallace. Labonte a full.
But again, he's only got third gear.
So they'll try to get it out of here. The thing just slowed down for a moment. It looked like it had totally.
You have no choice down the front straightaway. You have to get back into high gear because you're turning right at 200 miles an hour getting ready to go in the corner here. So you have to take a little load off the engine.
Let's get our math right. Now that's 4 gear changes per lap for the guys who are changing on the backstretch and the front stretch. And that was
2.5 miles covered Pocono, Pennsylvania. It looked pretty easy there. Anything but when you're out there in that seat.
Oh, you can get in trouble so quick here. All you have to do is, like Dick was talking just a few seconds ago, just miss the shift going into turn 1. The brakes won't hold you. You have great brakes, but they won't hold you. You need the steering and everything to help you get in the corner. You see how close you come to the wall coming out of the corners here. Just one little bobble in there into that concrete.
Gordon and Wallace first and second. Burton. On the pit road comes Gordon. Alan Bestwick waiting for Jeff Gordon, the number 24. Also coming in is Bobby Labonte in the Pontiac. Let's go to Alan.
Jeff Gordon's in. The Rainbow Warriors around the right side of the car. Bobby Labonte in the very next stall in front of him. Right side tires on Gordon's car. They come around the left. Everything's smooth and fast so far. Left side up. Fuel going into the machine. An efficient-looking stop to this point. Best in the business. Down and away. Gordon is in just over 17 seconds and gone.
With all this going on, Mark Martin has led a 5-point lap now.
Fantasy becomes reality for some 120,000 gathered here today. And for you folks watching around the nation, it's the 25th annual Pennsylvania 500 on this 2.5-mile track. With the guy who sat in the pole for the very first race here, Buddy Baker, alongside Dick Bergeron. I'm Ken Squire, covering the action topside and down in the pits today. Steve Burns is with you, Randy Pemberton and Alan Bestwick to tell you what happens when they pull onto pit road. And right now we can tell you that Jeff Gordon continues to dominate, leading Mark Martin. And a pretty good lead it is, buddy.
Oh, he's got a great lead, and his teammate just in front of him, Ricky Craven there in the 50 car, just about to go a lap down. Jeff Gordon is mowing down some great cars.
31st position is Craven, the guy that sat on the pole at New Hampshire in the last outing 2 weeks ago.
second effort after his comeback. Craven had sat out for a whole bunch of races most of the season with post-concussion syndrome. Right now, here comes his good buddy on the inside. Gordon's going to get him and put him a lap down.
Tire wear an issue here today, and Alan Bestwick can tell us more.
Well, Ken, it won't be an issue here today, and that's a story for later on in the race. The tires that came off the car of fifth-place runner Bobby Labonte, as well as leader Jeff Gordon, showing absolutely no wear whatsoever in that first run of the race. What that means is if we get a short run later on in the event, within the final, say, 50 laps of the event, look for some two-tire stops to be a factor in this race. I want to see how you get better from pit stop 1 to pit stop 2. This is Bobby Labonte's pit. They are watching and timing a videotape of their pit stop, trying to see how they can get better for the next time they come down pit road.
So the way the cars are now deployed, you have Gordon first, Martin second, Wallace third, Burton, and then Bobby Labonte with front five. There's your leader, and let's get an STP pit roundup going here. You see Gordon came in first and got out that way. Rusty Wallace dropped one. Martin the loser by 2 spots in that stop on that first time around under green. Hey, we're showing 49 laps now complete here today.
That's 122.5 miles. 43 starters, and all are back on the track. Penny Wallace, who was in there for some time, he's out here once again and running, but many laps down to the leaders. Call it 27 laps down to the leaders at the present time. Wallace, who had a transmission problem, back out in the Square D, number 81.
Rich Bickle has just made a pit stop. Robert Presley is sitting in the pits with his car jacked up. Buchanan's looking underneath it. And this guy's car is running just perfectly. Jeff Gordon on a rail, running beautifully this afternoon.
Jeff Gordon, remember 1995, that dramatic moment when he missed a shift on a restart, had it all his way all day, and then with 7 laps remaining, missed that shift and watched helplessly as the leaders drove off and left him back in 16th spot. There you see the number 90. Dick Trickle hard at work, trying to stay up there. That would be the tail end of this lead lap. Jeff Gordon continuing to mow them down. Consistency is a mark of greatness. How the Rainbow Warriors been so consistent over the last few years.
I think you look at, the great teams in the past that have won a lot of championships, especially Richard Childress with Earnhardt. They kept the same people and really kept that same focus for many years and won a lot of championships. We're trying to do the same thing. We've made very few changes. Yeah, there have been changes, but very few. Pretty much the core of the team is still there. The biggest combination is Ray Evernham and myself. We just, really, really work well together, and we get along great. Of course, when you're running well, that helps that also.
And he's running well right now, but Dick Trickle's trying very hard to stay in 31st and not go a lap down.
There's Ray Evernham walking around in the pits there, the mastermind of the Rainbow Warriors. He's checking everything. He's looking at the computer there, making sure everything's right. He's going through everything. He does not leave one stone unturned.
Gordon says they haven't changed much in the last few years, but I would disagree. I think they have just gotten better at absolutely everything they do. There is no place where this team is weak or soft. Their pit stops, their engines, their chassis.
Jeff Gordon leading, 53 complete. We'll be back in a moment. Back with you live at Pennsylvania with 55 laps now complete and still all green at 137 miles, 137 and a half. That's how they're running. With this man, Gordon, out in front by some 4 seconds. They what?
Towed the team van.
Gordon is leading by 4 seconds. Burton is a full 5 to that leader, Gordon.
He would have went straight out into the wall.
Pretty easy to do on this track anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about this tunnel turn. If you ever want to come to Pocono and just want to be in the infield, station yourself over there. If you want the thrill of a lifetime, every lap, you gear in there, and that thing just keeps getting shorter and tighter, and it's a blind corner. You can't see through it, and every one of those guys goes in there rooting and gouging every single lap. There's your race summary now with 4 different leaders, and we've swapped the lead 5 times, and nary a caution over the first part of this distance, which is now getting towards 60 laps when they come by. And with 60 complete, we're at 150 miles in the book there.
And Gordon has absolutely dominated this event so far. He is about 3.7 seconds ahead of the second-place car of Mark Martin, and obviously running just perfectly smoothly on a rail. That engine with more power than they have brought here to Pocono so far. Chassis just right. He's going to be tough to beat.
Brett Bodine has put the number 11, that Paycheck car, back behind the wall for the moment. Paycheck number 11 is back behind the wall. We'll try to get an update on Brett Bodine and how that one is running. Everybody else is still out here, hard on it. Gordon stays first, and Martin has closed in. He's picked up a full second. Burton in third, 5 seconds back, and is trying to close. And comes Rusty Wallace fourth, followed by Bobby Labonte in fifth. Earnhardt a good stout 6, and Mayfield, who came out of the back of the pack, racing in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Next week, Indianapolis. Then it's on to Watkins Glen, New York. Then out to that 2-mile track at Brooklyn, Michigan. Bristol, Tennessee. Back to Loudon, New Hampshire. Labor Day, Darlington, South Carolina. That's the one that Baker used to run pretty well. And remember that? Those were the good old days.
Let me tell you, we used to run 16 races in 2 weeks, and they're talking about worrying about running 16 races to November. I mean, yeah, You know, it's going to be tough, though. The main thing that you can get yourself into trouble, if you tear up something that you need 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road, then you have to go in and try to build a new car and keep everything going for the next week. It's really tough.
Dick, especially so with Daytona and Talladega, one right after another, and if somebody has trouble at one, they're going to really be in deep trouble for the next.
That's a full season for so many series, 16 races, and they're going to run them off, and this is from the halfway point on, or just past the halfway point. Today, we're all on pit road. Here comes Gordon, Martin, the Burtons. Bobby Labonte is in, Waltrip. So let's go down on pit road and see what we can find out.
Jeff Gordon's crew is in. During the last segment of race, he had radioed back and forth between himself and crew chief Ray Evernham that the oil temperature on this car began going up a little bit. I talked with Ray about it before the stop. He says he thinks it's a false gauge. He thinks they're okay. Gordon is down and away.
Gordon in first, Gordon out first.
Well, he's led everything but 6 laps out here today. Mr. Dominator is Mr. number 24.
Great pit stop by Mark Martin. He comes out in second place.
You've got Gordon out in front where he's been all day. One of the fans was saying today, no question about it, he has the support of all the rest of the racers here. And what do you mean? He's going to have all the competition behind him all day. And by gosh, the guy's right. Except for 6 laps, all the competition has been behind him. In 1998 alone, Jeff Gordon is a 4-time winner and a very generous one at that. He's taken generosity to the next level. He's got his sponsor donating.
You too could be a winner by helping to save somebody's life. Take the Close-Up Challenge and call 1-800-MARROW-2, and Close-Up Toothpaste will donate $1 for every call received today.
Pretty good call. That bone marrow thing is very close to Ray Evernham and that team. There is that team. And there's Brooke up there looking on today.
Jeff Gordon's wife. Crew Chief Ray Evernham's son suffered from leukemia. Car owner Rick Hendricks still suffering from leukemia. So the bone marrow drive program is very, very, very near and dear to the hearts of everyone on that team. They know just what it means.
And for so many people who really want to do something where they really feel they can participate, that bone marrow program is the thing. Yep. All right, we're ready to go green again, because you really can participate and you really can personally feel you could save someone's life. 74 laps complete as they take green. Jeff Gordon is out in front. And that margin is Zippo again now. Martin is there, Labonte and Wallace running second, third, and fourth. Let's listen to Mark Martin's car as he tries to make up on Jeff Gordon.
Awful close to that concrete wall.
Yep. Back to the leaders here. You see Jeff Gordon has about a 7-8 car length lead. But the guy on the move right now, Jeremy Mayfield, the winner of the race earlier this year.
The program was very fraternal and very friendly. It ain't so friendly right now, folks.
Down on the flat part, I guess at any other racetrack you would call it the bottom part down there that they don't run on. But here, you go as close to the grass as you can down in turn 1.
Jeff Gordon out in front, and there's the interval back to second. Everybody's still out here wailing on this track. Brett Bodine, he's fallen by the wayside. Kenny Wallace has pulled back out, so we've only lost.
Nobody drafted with him, and he's closing in on the
2 to win here at Pocono. He's led 6 out of the last 7 races here, including today. He's got 3 poles here, 6 top 10 in a row, 3 top 5 in a row. Does that sound like a guy that's overdue to win at this place?
Looking at Gordon with the advantage. Still less than a second over Mark Martin.
You want to cry.
It's going to be hard to pay the bills.
Yeah. Take a look at the field as they come by here. Yeah, a paltry $18 million, this 26-year-old, past 5 years. And they say you can multiply that times 5.5 to get what he's included with sponsorship deals and so forth.
And T-shirts.
And T-shirts.
Lots of T-shirts.
And keychains.
He's in there in the draft. This man right here is handling perfect, though, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon stays in the lead, and that lead is now just about 1 second over Mark Martin.
Garage where the Remington team works on Rick Mast's car. Rick, what happened?
I don't know, Al. Something in the transmission that, it's going along pretty good. You shift here. We shift twice here. I do during the race. It's real easy shift. Nothing like a road course. We lost overdrive for some reason, and then it started turning up the transmission. But the car was real good. The run before, we'd gotten it off a little bit. That particular run there, I mean, the car was flying. I was fast, coming up through there. Each lap we were half a tenth quicker or half a tenth slower than the leader, really trying to be a little conservative for a change, just trying to get over this bad luck deal. But it bit us anyhow, so maybe Indy, man, maybe Indy.
All right, Rick, good luck next week. What's that, the third transmission today, Ken Squire?
I believe it is the third transmission today. Understand that Brett Bodine's trying to get back out there, but this is the track that does tear up motors, tears up transmissions. But I must say, again, the engineering of these Winston Cup guys, that attrition that we thought was going to be developing, cars following by the wayside, that's not happening.
Well, so far so good, but we're only on lap 96 of the 200 laps that we have to go around here. And as this race wears on, surely we will see some more engines fail, some transmissions fail, and probably some other pieces and parts go away as well. This racetrack is just so tough on equipment.
Yeah, 96 laps, 240 miles complete, getting to that 250 very, very shortly as Jeff Gordon plays the role of Dominator, leading now by 1 4/10 seconds. I'll tell you one that's whipping around and beating up on the rest of them. That's Mayfield. Buddy, you were pointing out that Mayfield has broken away from the people he was running with, and all on his lonesome is closing down from 5th spot on those 4 leaders, Gordon, Martin, Bobby Labonte, and Ward Burton.
Well, this crew told me this morning, they said, listen, don't pay any attention to our qualifying. We are very good in race trim, and they're proving it right now, moving all the way up to 5th and closing in on the lead pack as we speak.
It's 1 1/10 seconds between 1st and 2nd, but Mayfield's only less than 3 seconds back, 2.9, and he is closing in.
Yeah, his crew chief, Paul Andrews, really knows this racetrack. He has won here with 3 different drivers. Alan Kulwicki, Jeff Bodine, and Mayfield.
The one thing I'm noticing right now, Earnhardt himself is moving up. He's moved all the way up to 7th spot right now.
You think that 120,000 people are sitting here watching these cars and understanding nothing to it at all?
A ride in the Pennsylvania countryside.
That's right. Just drive up to a blind corner at 170 miles an hour, keep your foot flat on it, and go around and pray nothing's wrong on the other side.
Not my rental car, you don't.
Huh?
Not my rental car, you don't.
Leave it to Baker. Just about everything but 6 laps have been led by Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has been the dominator from the outset. Rich Bickle was saying earlier, boy, he wanted to make this thing run well at TAV Ford. Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
Jeff Gordon's in. The crew goes to work. Been busting off great stops all day. They hand him in an ice pack in through the window. Pull away a little strip of metal that was hanging on the bottom side by the exhaust pipes. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Mark Martin's in. The good news for Mark Martin fans is they are not making any adjustments to this race car. It's in very good shape. A little bit slow on the jack. Let's go to Randy Simmons.
Well, Jeff Gordon beats everybody out. Bobby Labonte was in. They added 2 rounds of wedge. He beats Mark Martin out. Heck of a race on pit road.
I love the look. All these people in the grandstand from the start-finish line down are up and cheering as they come out. They understand the flag. Marlin went down a lap. Ricky Rudd, 84 laps to go in the Pennsylvania 500, live on TBS this afternoon. For it has been a Jeff Gordon story until this last pit stop. There'll be a couple more stops if it stays green. Take a look at this action.
Ray, what is it?
If we do need that second stop, it'll be with about 1 to go, and it'll be a long one.
Okay, I just thought I'd stick the mic in there and get that from Ray Evernham.
That's Ray Everham with Jeff Gordon. Coming down to complete 120 laps, 300 miles. Ward Burton in the skirmish, weaving his way through some traffic, and here they come in that great cluster of automobiles down out of turn 3, up to 200 miles an hour as they come to the start-finish line, inches apart. Dramatic racing, and look who's on the bottom. Number 3, Earnhardt, weaving his way through.
Earnhardt, brave as ever, makes a move on Jeff Gordon and takes the spot away. But Ward Burton is checked out. You see the silver car, he's way ahead of him there down the back straightaway.
But as we're talking fuel mileage, let's remember that Ward Burton pitted before that yellow flag. He will have gone some 10 miles more on the fuel in his tank than the rest of them. If fuel plays a factor, he's in trouble.
You're riding with Burton as he peeks out the back and sees Jeff Gordon there. Gordon and Burton fighting for first place. $2 million race, Pennsylvania 500, Winston Cup competition at its best. Gordon is down to the inside in turn 3, even across as they come to the line.
Kenny Irwin Jr. has just as much straightaway speed, but as they head down into turn 1, you can see the 24 car has great grip getting in the corner. Dale Jarrett comes up on the 24 now, trying to get by and makes the pass going into the corner.
And they're still side by side, headed for the tunnel turn. Who's going to lift first? Talk about macho. Here it comes.
Jeff Gordon in a very bad spot. He's going to have to roll out. Kenny Irwin Jr. is right there where he needs to be when he rolls out going into the tunnel turn. Gordon stays in there, makes it too wide through the tunnel turn. You got to tell Jeff Gordon that because he's doing it.
He just did it, yeah.
A little concerned out there as that field travels down there at that great speed.
If he took the lead, he put a pretty good little distance on Ward Burton there in second place.
Dick Berger in the Stock Car Racing Magazine, colleague to the left here, was saying as this race started that Ward Burton needed a day and needed it badly. And right now, that day looks like...
We're inside of Jeff Burton's car just a second ago. He's having a very, very strong run. The two brothers doing quite well today.
Just in front of Earnhardt, lap traffic, but she's got a needle through. Here comes Gordon on the inside. Ward Burton on the outside.
Oh, Gordon loses it.
Boy, I mean, that was as close to a wreck as you can have.
That was a wreck. It just didn't happen.
He rolls out with the throttle, checking to make sure he does not have a tire going down. Now he's back up to speed.
Here he comes with Gordon. And, of course, next year, Tony Stewart's going to gather into this group.
Jeff Gordon absolutely pushing the 99 down the straightaway as they move forward. You see on the inside, the 24, Jeff Gordon making a move back towards the front again. You're riding and looking back from the 99 car.
At what speed?
Oh, they're running close to 180 miles an hour right along there, probably 190 by now.
Take a listen to this.
Mr. Gordon's got competition now. You can see Jeff Burton fighting back on the inside as they head down towards the front straightaway.
Compared to the others, that car is not as good as it was before that last round of pit stop. Gordon had dominated this race until that point. Now there are others who are at least as good, if not better, than he is.
Such sweet thunder. And it's never sounded better or looked better out here than at Pocono this afternoon in this last 10 or 15 laps. Here's Rusty Wallace, and there's a guy who will muscle you. Doesn't matter if it's 80 miles an hour or 180 miles an hour, he'll go for it. 327.5 miles have been completed, and a black cloud for the two leaders is beginning to descend in the form of a rainbow already for Ward Burton. The rainbow has struck him. Gordon is into second, and now he's after Earnhardt in the number 3 for the lead. There you see the interval between those front three. That's the trio setting the pace here in the 25th annual Pennsylvania 500 at Pocono this afternoon.
We're not out of it. We've got off track a little bit. We're getting back on track. I'm telling you, Winston Cup racing has gotten more and more competitive, and people don't believe that to a point. Somebody is winning in 94. 95, 96, 97, it really got turned up to heat, 96 and 7. It's just more competitive now than it has ever been. And, of course, I think the multi-car teams has enhanced that. The learning curve, the things you can learn, the things we've come up with in the shock packages and spring packages and things that we're racing now, we never used to race it.
At 47 years of age, Dale Earnhardt, the 71-time winner, the 7-time Winston Cup champion, the Daytona 500 champion this year. A lot of it was created because Marlin and Elliott and Waltrip on the, there's your move. Here comes Gordon one more time, trying to work their way through those lap cars. Gordon, Darrell Waltrip looking back here as that leader pulls up. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. Waltrip in the Pennzoil car. Here's Earnhardt. That's his team car that he's muscling right there.
Oh, you can see right there. Close the door on Jeff Gordon.
Yes, it is the team car, is it not? But look at, here comes Waltrip back.
Yeah, I'm afraid right now they got the 3-car of Earnhardt on the outside there. Jeff Gordon will get a great run off this corner on both these cars.
That's going to be something if those two duck themselves up into the wall.
Yeah, Darrell's going to pull over.
Darrell let him go by.
Yep. Last run in that number 1 car for Darrell Waltrip, and what a great adventure it has been. Here comes Gordon.
He's looking to the inside, Ken, as they head into turn 1.
Earnhardt comes up just a bit. And that may be enough for Gordon to sneak through on the bottom. A couple of Chevys duking it out here on that second straightaway. Inching along, up comes Jeff Gordon.
Look at Darrell Waltrip sideways there. He had to get out of the throttle. He lost a lot of momentum coming out of the turn 3 there.
And you see the Pontiac number 22 weave right back into this picture another time. Ward Burton, set on the pole for this race, is there. These are the top 5.
Earnhardt just inches off the back.
Oh!
There's contact.
Trouble. Gordon in trouble. Just lost a whole bunch of spots.
Earnhardt got into the back of 24. Jeff Gordon there going into the corner. Slight contact, just enough to get him offline.
Well, I think he must be taking a very deep breath right now, but he keeps fading back.
Yeah.
Earnhardt is staying up with it. It may be that something happened to that car, and Earnhardt had to run into him because all of a sudden it seemed to come down a little. He's picking up the pace again, but for a moment.
Ken, when you back out of the throttle, you lose a lot of time. You see him back up to speed going along with Mark Martin right now. I think when somebody gets directly under him, he gets a little bit loose.
Martin is in that 7th position now, and Gordon falls to 8th in this group. Let's take a look at that contact again.
Earnhardt is a master. It gets very, very close without contact. Let's see right there. Yes, he does make contact. You can see the 24 get just a little bit sideways. Earnhardt up there with him. They both go offline.
Now we understand that the radio, it's a little hot out of Gordon's number 24 right now. The communication is in very short, intense sentences.
Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett said that's just...
So there's a long time for Jeff Gordon to get it all gathered back up again.
I tell you, he's just absolutely flying around here.
He's in that group.
Yeah, Mayfield's 5th right now. Earnhardt's 4th.
I think you may see Gordon right in there behind him.
Gordon is making his way back toward the front right now. This will be interesting when they get back together again.
Steve Burns.
Guys, you were talking about Dale Earnhardt's determination, his fire, desire. Let's talk about his experience, his knowledge. Yesterday in happy hour, Dale Earnhardt correctly predicted that this track would loosen up, that it would get a little slick with some hotter temperatures. So he left his car a little bit on the tight side. That's a lot about experience and knowledge. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Ray Evanhaven and Jeff Gordon have certainly been on the radio before the last pass and since then. And Jeff Gordon, Ray told Jeff to take your time before that. Pick and choose your spots. Don't abuse the right front. Now, the car was pushing when he was up behind Earnhardt, so he decided to go ahead and make his move, go by. We saw what happened after that. Ray has since come over the radio and said, look, take your time. There's a lot of laps left. We got to make another pit stop. We'll get this thing.
As you look at that trio, Jeremy Mayfield is going to play the role of cool hand Luke. You got a couple of multi-millionaires. You can throw the money away right now. Jeff Gordon's got fire in his eye, has been heard on the radio, and he's on a charge. He's trying to get back up there and try to duke it out again with the number 3. Now here's Mayfield to the inside on Earnhardt. This is for 4th.
Oh, Mayfield comes off, wiggles just a little bit. Earnhardt gets about a half a car length lead. Now Mayfield comes into the tunnel turn with the advantage on the bottom side.
Gordon comes with him. Whoa. And he slips through.
Yeah, Earnhardt lets him go.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Pardon me, boys. Is this the Chattanooga choo-choo? I think I'll hop on board.
Oh, that was a smart move by Gordon. That was a good, clean way to get by Earnhardt.
Jeff Gordon didn't like that set of tires. They bolted on 4 new ones. He's down and away. Steve Burns.
Tire on pit road. Someone's errant tire pushed it down pit road.
As far as Jeff Gordon is concerned, we talked about he didn't like that set of tires because he doesn't like them because when he gets under somebody or right behind somebody, the car picks up a major push. So they ripped off a good pit stop for him and got him out front. They think they can go all the way to the final pit stop. Expect the final pit stops to be a possible gas and go. Alan?
That's Gordon on the hustle. There's that tire getting kicked out. Bobby Labonte getting a restart ready with Gordon first. John Andretti is in second. Michael Waltrip is in third. Jeff Burton is in fourth. Musgrave, number 16, is in fifth. Mayfield, sixth. And you've got Burton in seventh. Ward is back to seventh spot now with Earnhardt in eighth. Labonte in ninth. So Jeff Burton takes over in second. John Andretti falls to third. And right now, it's Jeff Gordon again in command of the event, as it was very much in the first half of the race. Back with you, the Pennsylvania 500. Rolling into the final moments of this one. We have 154 laps now complete, 46 to go with Jeff Gordon out in front.
Pandemonium in the pits. Gordon beats everybody out.
And here you have it. Jeff Gordon out in front now by 2 seconds. After that final pit stop, he's worked away from Jeff Burton in second, Ward Burton in third, with Earnhardt lying fourth, and Bobby Labonte in fifth, Jeremy Mayfield in sixth. And there you see why this interval between first and second is building. That 163 plus that was put up there by Jeff Gordon, that stretched him to 2 9/10 second advantage between first and second. And Jeff Gordon, as he did at the outset, he dominated, leading all but 6 of the first half of the laps. Struggled early this season, but what was the turning point for these Warriors?
Charlotte's always a special place for us, and we always seem to do well there. But you know, we came in there well prepared and fired up, and you know, we sat on the pole and had a you know, a great day. But there was like besides the wake-up call for me, you know, there was kind of a wake-up call for the team. I mean, we just kind of got together, worked real hard, came out of there with a win, and it was an exciting win for us, you know, to get the 4 tires at the end, to get by Rusty and Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin there towards the end, and win that race the way we did. It just got us fired up, and boy, we've really been, you know, have had some momentum and a lot of confidence in what we're doing out there ever since.
Well, they may be fired up, but they may have just turned his damper down. And this is the one thing that the number 24 did not want. He runs so much better by himself, free and clear. Just scats, goes away. Cloud cover, as Alan Vestrick was pointing out a moment ago, may be working in his favor, but he's going to have them all gathered back around him.
Two to get out in front.
Bodine, Michael Waltrip, Sterling Marlin had a good run. Chad Little, they'll be in for 4. Here it comes. Pit lane's where it's going to happen. Last chance to fuel, take on rubber with a war to the finish. Let's go to Alan Vestrick.
The Rainbow Warriors go to work. I believe it's going to be a 2-tire stop. We'll see as they go after it. Now they're working on the right side, down and away. 2 tires to Randy Pemberton. 1 pound of air added to the right rear of the 99 car. 4 tires and fuel. He's going to go down away. No, yes, they are going to go 4 tires. Back to Allen. 4 tires for Ward Burton. 4, and he's out of the way. He burns.
And Dale Earnhardt said he's also getting 4 tires. No chassis adjustment. 20.86 seconds for Dale Earnhardt.
So much for the 2-tire philosophy.
Well, I wouldn't say that. We do have one on the lead right now. When they get through the cycle here, Gordon took on 2 tires.
We'll see. Burton's on 4. Earnhardt's on 4. Right up in there. We'll get a commercial break in and then come back as we get ready to resolve this 25th annual Pocono 500. Complete, 35 to go. Let's talk about who got 2 tires out here. We mentioned Jeff Gordon. There were 3 that didn't get mentioned.
Now the 33 of Kenny Schrader also took 2. The 21, Michael Waltrip, and the 97 of Chad Little. Those cars all have just 2 tires. Most everybody else took 4. 4 tires should be an advantage, should make the car run better, but you lose track position doing that.
Okay, Mr. Strategy. What about it, Baker? Huh?
Let me tell you, if Jeff Gordon gets a great restart, but you remember what happened a few years back on
my
the restart.
Heart, we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Right here in 95, he missed that shift on the restart, 7 laps remaining. And he just sat there and watched as everybody lumbered on by. Wound up 16th that day. Of course, he came back in 96 and he blew the field apart.
Jeff Gordon will bring them down. It'll be Martin in second. Kenny Schrader is now in third. Bobby Labonte in fourth. Michael Waltrip fifth. Chad Little in sixth. And it's Jeff Burton in seventh with Dale Jarrett eighth as they take the flag.
Darrell Waltrip under our race leader right now, Jeff Gordon, as they head down to turn one. Waltrip draws even with him as they head in the turn.
Trying to get that lap back. Not to be.
He's only one down.
Riding in the Pennzoil #1 with Waltrip. Takes it out in the backside, heads for the tunnel turn.
Gordon opened up a lead already. 2 tires or not, he's gone. We'll see what happens in a few more laps, though. See if that 2-tire strategy is going to work.
Down the main straightaway and ready once again for the old Pocono shuffle.
Look at him fan out. That's neat.
You can see what happened right here. Main chute. He's down on the inside. Point leaders going into today. Gordon, Martin, Jarrett. That's where they started. That's where they currently are in this event. Gordon pulling away. He's got him covered by 1 6/10 seconds for the moment. But remember, he only changed 2 tires. Those immediately behind him have changed 4. Question is, can they run him down?
Now, can they make it up by having pressure tires? It don't look like it. It looks like Jeff Gordon made the right call. Or Ray Evernham, I should say.
So far, we'll see. There's still a good ways to go. Tough fix.
Wonder if that tractor got a little greasy.
You usually say, why don't they use epoxy or something? But in that situation,
no.
The entire management is the story here.
It sure is. Gordon took 2. He's in the lead. Second, Mark Martin took 2. Labonte.
$2 million at stake. Here they come.
Ready.
Jeff Gordon brings them down. Green is unfurled.
Spencer on the inside is down just 1.
Working to try and get it back. Gordon, Martin, Labonte hanging right in there in the front of the field now. Gordon stays out in front. Here comes that first lap, and already Gordon's working on an interval. 1 Dover, Delaware, 187 races since. 4 Winston Cup checkers to his credit. Gordon stays first and stretches it to 9/10 of a second. Evernham wanted cloud cover. He has it in turn 1, but nowhere else. As you go down toward the tunnel turn, it's right back out into the sunshine. Car runs so much better with that cloud cover.
The other thing he wanted was to be leading, and he's got that too.
We'll check that interval between first and second. Jeff Gordon, as he works on his 5th win of the season. Here he is back to the line. And he picks it up a notch. He's widened it out to over 1 second to Mark Martin. And Labonte a little further back, another 15-car lengths. Gordon is there. Can anyone take it away from him? Refuse to lose. That's the theme of the Rainbow Warriors. With Gordon looking on, checking that watch and watching that interval continue to build in favor of Jeff Gordon. 184 complete this time by of the 200 to be run. And that DuPont Chevy is clicking them off right now. Qualified second and has dominated here today in the Pennsylvania 500. Up on top in the points, and for good reason. 9 top 10 finishes in the last 10 races this year. Third up there at New Hampshire 2 weeks ago in that event on the mile. With Jeff Gordon in points lead, what does Mark Martin say about that 2-time Winston Cup champion?
Get tired of him winning all the races.
Jeff Gordon has 4 wins in 17 races this year, and his average finish has been a 9th over these 17 races.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, well, he was right around that same average finish last year and the year before that as well. Gordon and Evernham and the whole Rainbow Warriors bunch, what a great team Rick Hendrick has put together. This has got to be pretty good medicine for Rick Hendrick, sitting at home suffering from leukemia, trying to get his health back together again, to see that team run as well as it's running today.
Well, the kid he said would be the franchise is proving to be just that another time here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. We'll be with you in Charlotte, North Carolina for the 500 mile there on that mile and a half.
That's always such a good race.
Oh, and it's such a great racetrack.
Yeah, it is. That's a...
Well, here you see Gordon, and he stays at 1.5. That has not changed. That is stabilized. The 1.5 seconds between first place Gordon and second place Mark Martin.
Well, if anybody's got anything at all for Jeff Gordon, now is the time to play the cards. 10 to go, 2.5 between Gordon and Mark Martin.
Staying right there, still 1.5 seconds back. Mark Martin just trying to edge up on Gordon, but not going anywhere. Remember when Kyle Petty referred to him as a bulldog? Said that this guy, Mark Martin, just like a pit bull is what he said. Once he sinks his teeth in, he just refuses to let go, and he's not letting go now. There you see that interval, first to second. Martin would give anything to find any way of just crawling up ever so much closer to that number 24. Cuts it down. It's 1 and 3, 10 seconds. There's first, there's second. Now you see third, and that green car fourth. That's all the way back to Bobby Labonte. That's the interval here at the track. Gordon pulls away by another couple of tenths. He had it at 1.4. It's back to 1.6. But unless something really untoward happens, Jeff Gordon, they're tied at 4 Winston Cup wins each. The crowd is standing. They will be now at 5 and 4. And Gordon taking the advantage and up in front of the Winston Cup points. Here is Gordon coming across the stripe as time begins to run out. Ray Evernham looking on. He's made some good calls on this one, Dick Berggren.
He always does. Evernham is clearly one of the top crew chiefs for sure. Brooke Gordon, Jeff's wife, she's got to be pleased. Her man's done a terrific job today. That whole team, as always, everyone pulls together, pulls their weight. Came back from some adversity. Gordon looked like he was in trouble earlier on in the event. Got shuffled out of position.
Take a look back. There's your number 6. That's that interval first to second that Mark Martin has been trying to overcome.
No, it's a given that Ray Evernham is right when it comes to tires.
There you have
That's the answer. I'll tell you what, if you want to know what the right thing to do is with tires, just watch what he does, and that's the right thing.
And there's another team that did the right thing. They fixed that 88 when I thought he was absolutely out of the race with an oil pan puncture, and they fixed it, and he's out there, brought himself all the way back to 5th spot.
Reminds me of Ted Williams. Remember everybody used to boo Ted Williams every time he hit a home run? Those great days in Fenway. That's the kind of thing you think about Gordon. He just keeps on winning. He's going to increase that point lead. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Just think, in 1990, Gordon had never driven a stock car, although he won in everything else. He went down to that Buck Baker School in Rockingham in June of 90. He'd been winning in midgets and sprint cars and all that stuff. Went down there, called up and said, hey, I think I found something I really want to do. I want to go stock car racing. And the rest is history. Headed for his 5th win of the season, 34th of his career. Jack Roush coming down, accepting defeat with about a third of a lap to go. Jeff Gordon on his way.
Jeff Gordon's eased out the throttle just a little bit so he does not make a mistake. Mark Martin's running as hard as he possibly can. I don't think he has time, though.
Final corner. Jeff Gordon ready to put him on at Pocono, Pennsylvania. He's coming down. Checkers are down. And Jeff Gordon increases his point lead to 62 over Mark Martin as those two slugged it out right to the finish.
And the crowd that some say boos Gordon too much, they were all on their feet and everyone was cheering him as he came across that line.
You can see Jack Roush applauding his driver, so he got 2nd and 3rd. Not a bad effort.
Good effort.
Mark Martin pulls by, headed for victory lane. It's Jeff Gordon one more time. Goes for another title. Could be a big day today. Alan Bestwick.
Well, Ray Evernham has taken off the radio after exchanging the high fives with the crew. Ray, congratulations. The 2-tire call with 36 to go. It obviously worked to your advantage. What was the thinking?
Well, I think that caution helped us. You know, I was a little bit scared. I thought we were going to get beat by taking 2, but I wanted to keep the car out of trouble. And I just want to thank DuPont and Quaker State, Pepsi, everybody that helps us out, and say hi to Rick and Linda. And thank God for giving us the opportunity to do this. It's a great race team, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm a lucky guy to be part of it.
Congratulations on your 5th this year.
Thank you.
Ray Evernham, the winning crew chief today.
Plastic Coat winning finish interview with the crew chief of the day. That is Jeff Gordon for the official spray paint of NASCAR. Proud to sponsor that winning finish, Ray Evernham himself. Plastic Coat presenting $1,000 to the crew chief of the highest finishing Winston Cup team participating in their award program. At the end of the year, that crew chief with the best average gets $10,000. Congratulations today to Ray. Back with our winner in a moment. The man of the hour still seated in that car waiting for us. Let's get down there now and meet Jeff Gordon.
And Ken, Jeff Gordon, his 34th career victory, stands atop the car. Boy, this is a well-earned victory for the Rainbow Warriors. Jeff, I got to know, at Happy Hour yesterday, you said the car was okay. Ray said you're struggling. It didn't look like you struggled today.
Well, I knew the car was good, but, you know, the sun was out today and clouds are coming in and out, and you just never know. And, you know, it's a long battle the whole day long. And I tell you what, I never dreamed we'd have this good of a race car. The Lord has certainly blessed me and this entire team. I mean, to give me a race car like that is just unbelievable. And I want to thank Ray and the guys for working so hard on this DuPont Automotive Finish of Chevrolet, and all the guys at the engine shop. Man, we brought back some power, and it really paid off.
Jeff, what was the key today? What was the turning point?
Well, you know, getting out front was the most important thing. I tell you what, you know, I would struggle just as much as anybody if I got back in traffic. It just takes the air off the front end of the car, or gets me loose. And there's a couple of close calls out there. I thought I'd lost the car and, you know, our day was done. But like I said, God was looking over us, and I want to thank him for that and for blessing this entire team. And you know, I'm just amazed right now. I mean, this is a great win for us. Yeah, we had a great car today, but yeah, it just isn't over till it's over, and so thankful. This Chevrolet and these Goodyears were awesome today.
Well, congratulations on a great team victory. We'll let you celebrate with Brooke and the rest of the team.
It was the Coca-Cola 600, and as he came to the line in tears, he said on the system back there to the pit crew, "Thank you, men. God, I love you guys. You're just great." Ray Evernham said to him back on the radio, "You drove your butt off." Nothing's changed since 1994 in May at Charlotte, North Carolina. Our congratulations today to the Rainbow Warriors. They've nailed another one. For Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, Randy Pemberton, Alan Bestwick, Steve Burns, I'm Ken Squire saying so long from the Pennsylvania 500, where Jeff Gordon's your winner. And don't forget, October 4th, the UAW GM Quality 500 starting at 12:35 on TBS Superstation. Next, it's America's funniest home video.